Well, Michigan's governor has green-lighted a plan to drug test some of the state's welfare recipients, but critics are calling it a war on the poor. So, is it an intrusion, or do you think it's justified? Joining us now for a legal debate is defense attorney Jonas Spilbor and former prosecutor Elliot Felig. Thanks, guys, for being with us.
Good morning. Good morning.
All right, so who is for it and who's against it?
I'm for it.
Why?
Public funds should promote public health. The basic rationale behind this, Ainsley, is the same rationale that allows the government to say, if you get food stamps, for example, you can't use your food stamps to buy booze. You can't use your food stamps to buy cigarettes. Taxpayers who pay for these programs overwhelmingly support testing measures like this because they don't want their tax dollars potentially supporting somebody's drug habit.
All right, Johnny, you disagree.
Well, I agree that we don't want our tax dollars going into a crack pipe, but Michigan tried this back in 2000, and the federal appeals court struck it down, basically saying it was a dangerous precedent because it violated the recipient's privacy. And I get that argument. So now here we are, 2015. If you drug test certain recipients, but and the ones that you don't are doing something equally bad for their health, how do you weigh the two? So you're unfairly discriminating against some of the recipients and not everybody. And I think that's the legal argument that's going to be made when people try to fight this law.
Now, Elliot, when you do take away the food stamps from them, they're not able to buy food. How do they continue on with their life? What do you say to that?
In this program, they've thought about that. They've said if you failed the drug test, all we're going to do is refer you to drug treatment, which benefits everyone. But let's talk about the privacy issue just for 1 second. The legal standard, as you know, is what is a reasonable expectation of privacy in the context of the program. But to sign up for a program like this, you have to give up a bevy of personal information, medical information, financial information. You have to agree to home visits, all of which have been held constitutional. So I would argue that you have a diminished expectation of privacy just by joining a program like this. And I don't think a drug test is really more invasive than those other measures that people consent to join the program.
And, you know, I will say this. If you work at Fox News, they pay my paycheck. Right. They could do drug testing if they wanted to figure out, and I could lose my job as a result. So in this situation, you, the taxpayer, you're paying for this, so shouldn't the government be able to do the drug testing? It's tax dollars.
That is a fair argument, but let's look at the practical portion of this. Number one, if you test dirty, now they pull your welfare benefits. Instead of keeping the benefits while you get clean and give you a cutoff point at that point, that would be a much better program to promote. You test dirty, you have a certain amount of time to get clean, or then you are cut off. Who can argue with that? The other practical issue is, you know what? If you cut these people off, A, you're cutting off entire families. You're not just cutting off one person, typically. Where are they going to get the money? Is the crime rate going to go up if the welfare recipients
We'll
go
have
down?
to see. So the Michigan governor, Governor Snyder, says he's okayed this plan for 1 year. It's a pilot program, so we'll have to see, and then they'll reassess after that year is complete.
Right.
All right. Thanks, guys, for joining us today.
Thanks.
Thank you. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Coming up,